Hi everybody, my name's Emily Roff. I am a currently performing musician and vocalist, and I'm also a speech pathologist, but I'm not talking in that capacity at this moment. At this moment, I'm talking as a singer who has ongoing hoarseness, tension, and who has had a history of vocal injury and trauma in the past. Luckily, I've been able to overcome that for the most part. I've kind of found strategies and new ranges of singing that kind of keep me in that safe zone. It's not ideal, but it works. But really, what I'm realizing is recently, since my performing has increased, I've had to find a way to manage my hoarseness, tension, weakness from previous injuries while performing 3 to 4 times a week. The information I'm going to be sharing, this is part 1. I'm hoping to do a vlog or a vlog, figuring out how to say it. But I'm going to share information that I have learned from ENTs, otolaryngologists, and speech pathologists. They seem to be working for me. I'm still on my vocal rehab quest. But as they seem to be working and I at least feel like I'm in a safe zone, I wanted to share this information with other singers who might be in a similar predicament. Okay, so here we go. The first thing to consider is something called vocal hygiene. It seems pretty simple. It's not something that most singers like to adhere to, especially if you're a gigging musician, you like staying up, over caffeinating, maybe being around smoke or alcohol, eating kind of fried foods at night, having that acid reflux. But it really does work. One of the ways that I have seen a great amount of improvement when I do it is to consider that vocal hygiene piece. So first we'll start there. You really need to increase your water intake. Whatever you're doing now, multiply it by 2 or 3 times. The recommended amount is 6 to 8 glasses of water per day. Now, not only is that great for health in general, but it will help your vocal cords because when you drink water, I don't know if you guys know the anatomy, but if you drink water, the water is not actually hitting your vocal cords because you would be drowning if it was doing that. It's actually going down your esophagus, not in the front on your vocal cords. So in order for that hydration to work for you, you really need to absorb it all day long and far in advance of any singing events that you have scheduled. That way it's in your body and the hydration is coming from within. Now there are some workarounds for that. Chewing gum or lozenges is a thing as long as it's not mint or anything that's going to cause acid reflux. Because what that does is that increases your salivation and that does travel down your throat. So just keep that in mind, hydration, hydration, hydration. On that note, another huge thing that you can do for yourself is you can use a humidifier at night. Clean air humidifier, cool mist. You can get that on like Walgreens or CVS or online. But you can also get a steamer. You would inhale into your vocal cords. You could do that in the shower, inhaling hot tea, or using even like a face steamer for like makeup. But all that is a topical way of hydrating your cords. So hydration, hydration, hydration. I'm going to skip over, not going to spend too much time on this, but there's a lot of avoids, like avoiding smoke, over-the-counter medication, yelling too much, talking talking over loud volumes. That's all stuff that you can definitely find online. Of the avoids, I would definitely say if you are experiencing a period of hoarseness, like I'm currently experiencing a period of hoarseness, I had a gig last night, you really want to kind of pick and choose your battles. Like, it's important to socialize, but it's also important to keep a healthy voice that is not going to progressively get worse and worse and worse. I have had that happen to me over time. I have singer friends who that's happened to. It doesn't end well. It can end with a swollen cord that gets so swollen that you get a hemorrhage, which is a little blood vessel burst, which can set you up for other things like polyps. So it is really important to take care of your voice. It's important to communicate with your venues, to protect yourself, to communicate with your friends, because it's your voice, and if they respect you as a musician, they should listen to you. So with that being said, if you are in a period of hoarseness, try to limit how much you are going out in loud, noisy environments, especially loud, noisy environments with drying things like coffee, alcohol, smoke in the area. It's short term, it's temporary, it's just to get you back on track. For example, one time I was having a period of hoarseness, and so I decided not to drink for an entire month, not to go to any loud engagements, and even limit my socialization for 1 month. It really helped. I increased my steaming. I increased my hydration. That also helped. Another thing you can do on the vocal hygiene is something that's like relatively new, but I've found to really help kind of to keep me honest with myself, is there's something called a vocal budget. So what that means is your voice is like a bank account, much like your energy is a bank account. The more you take out of it, the more you have to put back in. So if you are using your voice for rehearsals or practice or even gigging, then you want to make sure you are resting it almost as much as you are using it. I know that seems impossible because rest includes not talking. Talking is using your voice. So you can either have periods of rehearsal and then periods of complete silence, or you can do something called vocal naps, where if you're using your voice a lot during the day, let's see, maybe you sing at night, but you're a teacher during the day. Well, you need to still be able to rest your voice. So in between sessions of singing, or talking, you should try to take 15 minutes of complete vocal rest. So for example, when I'm at a gig, I used to try to socialize because that's the thing you're supposed to do. You're supposed to network. But actually what I've done now is I make sure I stick to my 15-minute breaks in between sets, and I also hide. I go in my car, I go in a back area where no one can find me, and then I completely have complete silence, vocal rest, hydration, do a little bit of that non-menthol, maybe like Ricola lozenge to recover. Get through the gig, and at the very end, while I'm hydrating, I can talk to people. But even at the end, you've just worked a lot, so you need to kind of limit how much you're doing that. Of course, you have to live and you have to be yourself, but these are just factors that you should consider if you are in a survival mode with your voice. So now I want to talk to you about just a little bit about another trick. I found this online. There is, I don't even know what it's called. There's a very expensive version of this that speech pathologists use, but this is a way to loosen your throat, because the more you clench and strain and tighten, the tighter and tighter your voice gets, the more pressing there is. So this is it's like I think they sell them on Amazon. They're like little, they're actually for like anxiety, but I think this was like $11 or $15, no more than 20 for sure. But if you blow into this and you gently hum into this, it will relax your voice, and I will tell you why. But first, let me show you. So first blow. Anytime you're going to take an air, try to breathe it through your nose because it fills your lungs and it goes into your diaphragm. So breathe in. This can also work with any sort of straw. I have a straw here. I'll be showing you this in a second, so I'll use this. Then you can gently hum. So the reason why this is so important to do, or as a handy dandy survival tip, is because the more we get tired, the more we clench, the more we grip with our helping muscles in the voice. And I'll talk about that more later in another video. But the more you do that, the more you grind and rub, and your vocal cords are not working as functionally as they could. When you use a straw, when you breathe in through your nose, down into your diaphragm, and then vocalize through a straw, that's something called an SOVT exercise. What that does is it balances the air that's coming out of your lungs, passing over your vocal cords and coming out. So the above and below pressure of the vocal cords, which helps you to have optimal vocal cord movement. So another thing that does that is hydration. Hydration also helps you to have optimal vocal cord movement. So if you're using this or a straw I'm bad. I always have a Starbucks coffee when I'm gigging. It's just kind of my own little thing that I do. It's caffeine, so I don't know if it's recommended, but it's what I do. So I always have a straw. So between hydration, vocal rest, vocal naps, not overly pushing on high songs out of your range on days when you're struggling, balancing that in oral pressure with your throat. This is a way to mitigate some of the stress and the hoarseness and the tension you might be feeling, to be cognizant of some of the strain and potential weakness you might be experiencing, and to make you cautious of protecting your vocal cords while you are in a kind of temperamental place, but you still need to go about your life. With that being said, I do want to say, if you are ever having vocal issues, I've had several vocal issues in the past. Luckily, I'm getting better now, but I've experienced them. Please, please, please go see an ENT, an ear, nose, and throat doctor, specifically an otolaryngologist. Get checked out, make sure everything's okay. And they will probably prescribe you for speech language pathology sessions. Those are really great for you as well. Do them if you get them. But if not, try to just go online and look for these vocal health videos. I'm just one of many people out there. I'll put a link in for another person on YouTube that I really, really love. Her name's Katrina, and she is a speech language pathologist. I use her videos as survival for myself. But since I'm a currently gigging musician, I kind of just wanted to share my own survival tips. That's why I'm going to call this more of like a vlog from my own experiences that I hope can help other singers out. So that's kind of a starter survival kit for this video. I will be back with more. I will be back with more specific exercises that can help start loosening up that throat to make sure your vocal cords are working optimally and you're not putting any additional strain on your voice. All right, that's it for now. Hope to see you soon. Thanks. It's Emily Roff.